Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Be me. Fall. It's 6 p.m. Training endurance. Hiking and marching with a heavy backpack. Move outside of the city. Pretty much only mountain, field, or foresty area. Walked this route a few times, but never this late. There are some tall fences which say, "Do not enter here." Whatever. Run along the fence. Look around as always. Usually there are goats running around here. No goats in sight. Worried, but just think that the shepherd pulled them back in or something. Keep marching. The bag really heavy on me. March for like 2 hours. Far outside city, 8 p.m. Decide to make a real small camp for a break, then go back. Drink water, eat some canned stuff, then march the way back. I spot something moving in the distance. Move slowly and carefully. Get closer to it, knife ready, thinking it's a wolf or a boar, common around here. Just stays there and moves head slightly. It's a fucking goat. A stone falls from my heart. Heavy baggage still on me, so I can't run fast and far. 9 p.m. Get by this fence again. Strange lights coming out of there, moving in all directions. All emit a yellowish warm light. Not too close for me to identify what it is, but not too far that I don't see in which direction they are shining. Looked like flashlights being wildly shaken, but haven't seen flashlights which burn that bright with such a color like stars. Don't mind it. Probably some farmers or teens having a blast in a prohibited zone cause more rebels. As I walk for 30 minutes, it's pretty much dark at this point. Lights still swirling, but more energetic and faster. What the fuck is going on? March faster. Still 20 minutes till I reach the outskirts of civilization, getting creeped out by those lights. 5 minutes have passed, which felt like an eternity. They all stop, face in one single direction, my direction. I pretty much try to run with my head facing the fence, but keeping a distance. They get slightly closer and closer, start swirling, then get in perfect order again like it's some magic light lamp or some shit. One moment they go all wild and crazy in all directions. Next moment you see them perfectly aligned. Get closer and keep doing those strange formations with breaks in between. Nope. The fuck out of there. Drop all my shit. I have never ran this fast in my life. Go next day by daylight to pick up my stuff. Everything there except for the water bottle and food. Have I been robbed by a hobo? Decide to ask around the locals. They don't know anything. Never march there again.
With 3 cousins, decide to go take a walk on the train tracks. Do so, play around, start a fire in a little old building. Suddenly, the roof is on fire. It's summer in a dry, forested area, by the way. Thankfully, there's a little pond close by, and we manage to douse it out. We decide it's enough for the day and walk back. We come to a bend that had been dug into the side of the hill. As we're in the middle of it, we hear a train coming in behind us. The ditch we're in is too narrow to safely stand aside, and the rock walls on either side are too high, steep, and even to climb out. We run as fast as we can. The train is tooting right behind. Finally reach a point where we can climb. I'm the last in line. My cousins are climbing one after another. 2. Fucking slow. Finally, I get the chance to scramble up. Just as I reach the top, the train passes us by. I could only repeat fuck for 10 minutes until my brain got back to functional levels of adrenaline.
Be me at 16 years old. Mexico. Used to walk around in an entire lonely street without light or water services, not even pavement. Every house without doors nor windows. Mexico. This guy and I like to do this kind of what is now called urban exploration. We took a guitar with us, some snacks, flashlights if night took us, and a Cabañas pistol of 1 bullet per chamber. Still, the gun was just for the pretending and feeling edgy. I never used it with 22 bullets, so it was useless in case of defense. Even in Mexico at 16 years old, it's hard to get a gun. It wasn't the first time we were around that area. We already knew the place, and we felt kind of safe knowing there was no way someone could get in that place without walking a kick-ass distance from civilization, jumping a small river, and getting there before us. By this, before we got into the forest, a guard pointed us with a flashlight, but we just ignored him and kept walking. That day we couldn't trip that much. In fact, it was the last time we went to that place. The night was falling, it was dark, and we still could see the way to the place, so we didn't use the flashlights. We were talking loud until I saw something far from us, but close enough to recognize it as a human shape. A person with a red shirt. I could see more in the darkness. We had no shadow to cover us. The slight light of the moon exposed us pretty much. I heard no sound, but it seemed like there were more people, and a truck maybe. As we noticed we were not alone, we got back from where we came from. Not that scared at all. We knew of other people going to that place, using the empty houses to smoke weed or just hang around. Just once had an incident, but that's another story. When we got out of the forest, there was no guard at the entrance. We kept walking. If this isn't the kind of paranormal story, it was quite scary. While we were walking up the street, a military convoy appeared, driving directly to us. I thought the guard called the cops. I felt confident knowing I wouldn't let them search my stuff. The only thing was the guitar and the snacks. The pistol was way deep in my boxers. The problem was, they were not cops. They were military. They ask no permission for whatever they want, at least at that time, in that state. 4 soldiers got off the convoy and surrounded us, pointing their fucking FAL rifles at us. I looked at my bro, and he was pale in shock. I didn't know how to react, just showed my hands in front of me. The captain got off the truck and spoke to me. "What were you doing? What are you carrying? Where do you live? What's your name?" etc. They searched our stuff. I never liked drugs, so I wasn't carrying anything illegal besides the gun. They let us go. After all, we were 2 16-year-old kiddos who didn't do nothing at all. Walk home in the most frigid silence. When I arrived, I hung out at his house for a while thinking about what just happened. We came to a conclusion, and with time other people could confirm it. That place connects directly to a highway. It could be used as a shortcut if someone was trying to avoid the authorities at the limit of the city. The people we saw in the place weren't ghosts or druggies. It was no secret that the authorities were working with organized crime, but not the soldiers. After all, those guys with guns were no soldiers at all. The convoy was fake, their uniforms fake. Their guns weren't fake. The persons carrying the guns neither. They were using the disguise to make an operation. The guard before. There wasn't even street vigilance at that place. The people we saw were narcos. A single thing like turning on the flashlights when night fell down or asking for identification to the soldiers could make us disappear. Just like that. No one would ever hear of us again. No bodies. No fucking thing. Last time I did something like that. Fucking Mexico.
Me and a friend out fishing in the lake near our village. Maybe 30 minutes from town. Summer day, warm and comfy. A few hours in, we start feeling uneasy at the same time. Like something or someone is watching us. Ignore it. Make stupid jokes like young boys do. We were 14 or 15 at the time. We have drifted to one side of the lake in our boat. trying to get the pikes to strike. Suddenly, friend freezes, tells me to look. Turn around and see a strange figure at the other side of the lake, almost like a woman. Not sure what is going on, we stand there. I wave with my hand. Maybe it's someone from town. Figure moves. Not running, not jumping, just sudden movement and gone. We freak out a little, row to the little dock, get our stuff and head home since it's getting a little twilight dark outside. Northern Scandinavia in summer, sun does not set. Suddenly, while walking down the road, something is at our side. Much closer now. It is like a dark parody of a human. Tall, pale, long hair. But the details are wrong. Face is not human, eyes too big, legs bent the wrong way. We run fast. Thing is next to us, it's not even trying. We are young boys running with testosterone, flying down the forest road. Still this thing is beside us even though it's in heavy terrain while we are on flat ground. Reach the bigger road. I feel like my lungs are gonna explode. Look back. Friend sits on the ground, completely done. Nothing is there. Complete silence. We both sit there for a while. Gather enough willpower to stumble home. I lived with my grandmother at the time. Tell her what happened, expecting laughs and jokes. But she gets very serious, hugs me, and looks me in the eyes. You met a Huldra. Don't ever fish there again, boy. She slaps me so I will not forget, then hugs me again. Never talked about it again. She just told me to be careful in the woods. That was nearly 20 years ago now. That slap wasn't necessary. I will never forget what happened.
Live in a small condo with a Shiba doggo. He is a very good doggo. Usually I'll take him for walks around the neighborhood inside the gate and he'll do his business then. But sometimes he needs to go again or in the middle of the night, and I'll just let him out onto the small patio I have since it's fenced and he can just do his business, then come back in. Just gotta hose it off now and then. He takes forever. And again, there's a fence, so usually I just let him out, go back to my stream or whatever, then let him in when I hear him scratching at the sliding glass door. Last January, he's gotta go. A little past midnight and I'm half drunk. Alright, you needy fucker. Open sliding door, he starts to bolt out to relieve himself like usual. Suddenly stops halfway out, clearly listening intently for something. Listen with him, because he has good instincts. Knows the difference between neighbor kids or soccer moms and creepers. Alerted me to potential druggo weirdos before. Listening hard. All I hear is what sounds like my neighbor's heater going and the wind outside. Nope, nothing else. Nudge him outside because I'm getting cold and fed up and I've got vodka and warm air waiting back inside. Close the sliding door to keep cold out. Will never forget that last scared look in his eyes as I was walking away to let him pace around and find his spot to go BM. Waiting about 10 minutes. Still no scratching at the door. Weird. But he has taken that long in the past, especially if some noise outside freaked him out. A little worried he'll get cold, but the fence is too high for him to jump, so just keep chilling inside. Now, to explain all that happens next, I have to describe the layout of my apartment. The patio he uses to shit can be seen through the sliding door in the guest bedroom, and also through a small window in the kitchen on the same side past a wall that divides the living room. Basically, I left the guest room where the sliding door is, went into the living room, then from there to the kitchen, and I can see out onto the patio from the sink. Mixing another drink, listening to music off my phone, totally distracted. Look out that kitchen window just to see if he's done yet. Can't see him at all. which is wrong because the patio is well lit with the light on. Wait. I never turned on the light. Usually I do, but again, drunk and half awake, so I forgot to. Happens sometimes. He sees much better, so he'll just go in the dark, usually. Where is all that light coming from? Shut off my music because I'm about to go out there. Can hear that same wind and neighbor heater sound from indoors, this time too loud. It's a big Jeep. Now one more thing here. My sliding door and garage door lock, so the fence gate doesn't. It's just a latch you can open from either side. Again, no big deal for Doggo Potty. He can't open it, but a person could. The Jeep is stopped right by my patio and turned weirdly toward it, like whoever's driving is trying to shine a light inside. Should be faced left or right since it's a neighborhood street inside the gate. Only reason you'd turn like that is to park in your garage. That gut instinct kicks in. Classic mother hen protective mode engages. Suddenly see some dude with everything but his eyes covered in coat and scarves get out, and starting to open my fucking gate, throw glass on the ground. Last thing I hear is it shatter, bolt like a leopard to my sliding door, open it and step out. This fucker is on my patio heading toward my dog, who is terrified and huddled in the little planter spot out there. All instinct and lack of tact from hard boozing all comes together, and I love my doggo. I bellow at this piece of shit like a wild man, barely even words, just, "Motherfucker, what you doing, fucker?" See the dude's eyes go wide. Can tell I'm off my ass since I'm practically naked and sweaty and red from all the vodka. He does this weird crouch search where I think he was looking for something to hit me with. Joke's on you, fucker, I don't do shit. No tools out here. The part I'm most proud of, I roar like I never knew my skinny ass could, like a fucking caveman beast, because my dog is my only friend, and I would die for him. Lunge at this guy like I'm about to thumb his eyes out, because I was. Dude doesn't like his chances with long-bearded vodka howler. He bolts like a roach to the passenger side. He has a getaway driver. Also some dude with his nose and mouth covered in some cringe-looking beanie. My finger snags his jacket pocket. Most I could grab. Jeep is rolling forward and my patio gate is still wide open, so I back off because I'm worried my dog is gonna bolt out into the night in fear, or that these dudes are moving their Jeep so they can park. Both get out and jump me. Slam gate shut, relatch, and in inebriation mode, put a couple cardboard boxes in front of it. You know. To block them. Open sliding door. Pick up my now PTSD pupper like I'm saving my child from a floor and run inside. Put him in the main bedroom, close and lock the door. Get floodlight from garage, a jacket and a ball-peen hammer, and what remains of the vodka bottle. Turn on the flood and blast my patio with light. All dark beyond. Jeep rolled off. My face when sitting out in winter night until sun peaked at 6 a.m., bare-legged with a hammer and near-empty vodka bottle, waiting if these guys showed back up. They did not. Remember later on how many missing dog posters I'd been seeing around mine and other nearby neighborhoods the last few months of the year before. Seriously thinking there's some kind of dog napping operation around here. I stand with that hammer outside with my boyo every time he goes now. I call it the Potty Hammer.
Here's this. Grandfather lived in a rural community, only a few thousand, has lived there all his life. Back in the 40s, there was even less people. He was about 5 years old at the time and had to live off the land with his family. Father would drive into town for work, mother would stay home with baby brother. Cars were a rarity, but sometimes city people would come up to hunt. Night in the middle of winter, Grandpa is listening to the radio with his mom. Someone knocks at the door. For context, there was a screen door outside. You open that up to the main door, which was thin wood. Each could be locked on their own. Mom gets up to see who it could be. A naked guy, really tall and covered in blood, is standing out on the porch. "Can you help me? My car crashed and I need to come inside. Do you have a phone?" Ma closed the inner door, which pissed the guy off. Guy started screaming and kicking at the door. Grandpa said it sounded like a mix between a mountain lion scream and a cow mooing. Ma is frozen in fear, so my grandpa runs to get his father's gun, sends 2 rounds of buckshot straight through the door. The guy slash thing ran off after that. Besides him already being covered in blood, he didn't seem hurt by the gun. Just scared. Father comes home, sees a bunch of holes in the door and asks what happened. Police got called, but they never found anything besides some footprints leading into the woods.
Be me, 16-ish, living in the Southwest. Lots of desert, lots of nothing. We live on the edge of a larger city, so we get a good mix of both. Stepdad is driving home one night. Really dark out, low moon or something. Mom in the front passenger, me in the back. Nothing in the seat next to me. If you're in the Southwest, you know. Never have an empty car seat. Have one anyway, like a moron. Driving for about 10 minutes, listening to music and looking out the window. Dramatic music video .mp4. Suddenly feel like I must not look at the other seat. Try to be clever and figure I'll sneak a reflection when one of the lights comes by. Street light comes up. Hear my stepdad suck in a breath. Car jitters briefly. What the fuck? .jpg. Look at stepdad. Stepdad staring in the rear view. Look at the seat next to me. There is a man sitting there. Slightly tall, dressed very nice and businesslike. Staring at me. Oh God, his smile. He has a smile like a madman. His teeth are so big and too perfect, he won't stop smiling, he won't stop staring. My entire body goes cold. He doesn't move. I don't move. I don't even remember his eyes, just the smile. That fucking smile. Pass the light. Thank the gods I peed before we left. Wait for death. Keep waiting. Next light comes. No man there. We got home safe and nobody in the car spoke a word the entire time. Mom stayed up, lit a bunch of candles, cleaned the house out or something. I still had nightmares about that fucking smile. From then on out, we never had an empty seat in the car.
It happened last year in July. Holidays, free time. As always, me and my friend decide to go on a bike trip. We live in a small village surrounded by woods like 8 kilometers from the nearest town. So we took bikes and rode to the forest, picking a way we both know well. We use this track for almost every bike trip since like 4 years or more. Anything weird or scary never happened there. Our trip spontaneously became over 50 kilometers distance, so we were going back late, like 11 p.m. In the forest at this time, it was completely dark, only able to see the outline of the crowns of trees against the bright sky. As always in this type of situation, we used phone flashlights because of our poorly equipped bikes, so riding a bumpy road through the woods at this hour was very tiring. Also, I was very worried about my friend who was exhausted by this trip, and all the time wanted to stop for rest, so we still got off the bike to have a moment to rest, and during these stops, we felt terribly uncomfortable. After a long time, I started to have the impression of once again passing the same path, which was impossible, because I know that way, like my own house. In the end, we reached the point where the road went under a small hill, and we had no power, so we decided to push the bikes up to its peak. And then that happened. We both heard the most loud scream in our lives. It was weird as shit. Something like a human or animal screaming in pain. but it was long like some kind of singing. The worst thing was that the sound source was very close to us, 15 meters on the right. We both stood in place and turned our backs and shone each other in the face with flashlights so we could not see anything. My friend asked me quietly, "What was that?" I was so scared, but I knew that if I told him about it, he would not move on. So I said to him, "Those were foxes for sure. I heard they can scream like this." We moved on shaky legs. When I got home, I checked on YouTube foxes screaming, and that shit in the woods was something else.
Grow up on a street that you couldn't really play at either end of. One end is a little woodland that is constantly full of junkies. The other is a long set of steps with spare land at one side of it. Anyone lurking and you would never see them. Get warned to stay away from both. Me and my friend constantly play at the spare land regardless. We're about 7 or 8. People dump all sorts of shit there. And pure trash when you're a kid might as well be gold. One day we go down and there's a mattress there. I can't stress how difficult it would actually be to get a mattress to this location. Very awkward would be an understatement. Like I say though, people dump all sorts of shit there. No one is around, so we continue investigating. Friend finds some book about ladies in the undergrowth. Oh, cool. They're the same kind my dad has under the sofa cushion. We sit and look through this old mag. Discover there's a few of them. Don't really mean anything to us. Keep looking. Find a cardboard box full of pristine brownies uniforms still in their packets. Also find a lock knife under the mattress. Though it's a good find, we don't take anything. Every Friday I used to go to my grandmother's. One Friday I come home, and my friend tells me that earlier that day a man had asked him, on the spare ground, if he could help him find his dog. Friend freaked out, so he told his mother, who naturally went berserk at him being there. Next day we go to the spare land. Guy pops up about 30 yards away in the undergrowth, asking if we can help him find his dog. Nope out and pedal home. Tell my mother. A few guys from the street go looking for him. Find no one. Every Sunday we play football in the park. Have to pass the spare land to get there. Very dubious, but there's lots of us. One kid who was about 11 said he would meet us there because he was running late. He didn't show. He passed the spare land too. But some guy asked him to help him find his dog, and he said, "Sure." We never went back.
Used to go down south twice a year. Cornfields for miles. Used to joke with my cousin and make up ghost stories about monsters. Good times. Then my aunt gets a new house. Middle of nowhere. Start having fun once again. Oh, look at these weird marks. A goose dog must have been digging here. Check out the weird pattern the frost on the window made, like a weird hand. Yeah, the windows must frost over a lot in the middle of nowhere, even though it's summer. Those shapes on the horizon must be werewolves. Night rolls in, night of a new moon. Not that you could really tell with all the clouds. Talking with cousin about bullshit. Hear something yowl in the distance. Is your cat getting mauled or something? Cat walks by, looks at the door, then darts off to the living room. Wind is picking up more, making odd sounds through the house. Terrible draft and chill. Let's just go to bed. Dog is sitting up staring at the back door. I get on a couch and a cousin goes to his room. As I try to sleep, the dog starts whining as he stares before growling a little. I hear something from outside, faint sniffling. Turns into faint scratching. Turns into fevered scratching at the door. moves along the wall to just under the window where I sleep, under 3 blankets in summer and freezing. Look up for a moment and see frost all over the window. No other window, though. Hear a frantic knocking on the door for I don't know how long. Hello? Something like granite and ice crashing into each other is whispered from the other side. Tactically undry my underwear and hide under covers. Don't sleep until dawn. In the morning, see icy prints all over the window by the couch. Never, ever, ever sleep by a window out there again. I admit, I could have had a waking dream, but I sure as hell know it wasn't the dog making those sounds. I could see what he was doing, and it wasn't close to any of that. I guess it's not a very spooky story, but it's what happened.
Be 10 or 11. Live in a wooded area in southern Washington. Sure is fall outside. Playing video with younger cousin in parents' bedroom on the big TV. NFL Blitz, having a blast. See a dim light flash by a narrow window. Ignore it, keep playing. Mom comes bursting into the room. Whisper screaming, "Anon, get over here right now, there's something outside." Oh, okay. Follow her down the hall silently. I ask, "Where's Dad?" "Outside, looking for it." She leads us to my room, turns off the light, and closes the door. My cousin is a wuss and is starting to whine. My mom tells him, "Shut up, listen." Standing in dark silence, waiting. My dad jumps out wearing a glow-in-the-dark alien mask. Me and my cousin screaming, but I stop when I realize it's my dad. Dad is laughing. "Ooh, got you good." Cousin has collapsed to his knees in tears, shivering. Next day, cousin takes mask to daycare he goes to, bursts into the room, shuts off the lights, and everyone screaming, cousin laughing. Cousin gets in trouble, time out all day, gets mask taken away, gets grounded by his mom when he gets home. No fun allowed. This was just a few weeks after 9/11, so I can understand why the daycare staff were so on edge, but they didn't have to be such dicks. My cousin hasn't been the same since.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.